people are beautiful, the land's crazy beautiful. I said, Tom, if I didn't know better, I would swear you were Newfie. Lust and passion for nature, and it was one of the nicest compliments I ever received. Again and again and again and again, until infinity, until the story ends. Today we're driving out to Kennedy Lake. It's kind of a long, rough dirt road, so I'm taking it really slow. This west main road out to Kennedy Lake, and to Kennedy Lake Provincial Park, and then we're gonna go up this way, and I'll probably stay up here and probably go kayaking up this Clayoquot arm of the lake, because you can't see that from the main highway over here. But so this is nice and private up here. It looks pristine, and then you got all this side of the inlet protected. And then I also want to go this road over to Tofino Inlet, and it goes right up along the inlet and get a good look, up to about here, because the road is rough. And it does get a lot rougher going up towards Virginia Falls. And got my spare gas can full. Just in case I want to keep going, because I don't want to get out here and not have enough gas after coming so far and putting my rig through all the rough roads. So I don't know how far I'm going to go, because this road just goes and goes. Don't have to return anytime soon. Here's our first split. Let me check and make sure we're going right. I'm already glad that I bought this new atlas. Unfortunately, I had to buy 3 other maps that weren't that great to realize that there's a much better one out there, which is the one I have now. But I'm glad I have it, because it's already helping me navigate these gravel roads that aren't always so well marked. The road has got a lot of potholes, so I'm basically driving in second gear the whole way. So going pretty slow, like under 20 miles an hour, just not to tear up the rig. So we'll just play it by ear how the road goes and how far we go. But I'm glad you guys are along for the journey, and I look forward to sharing with you what we discover out here on the wild coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. It's pretty awesome out here. Pretty magical, enchanting land. With wolves and bears and all the cougars and all the sea life, whales and sea lions and seals and porpoises and otters, sea otters and land river otters. So it's a pretty cool, exciting place, and with all the old growth forests and all the native culture that's alive and well, and all the artisans that are carving and painting and creating beautiful art. So yeah, it's no doubt there's, wherever you turn, there's something pretty amazing to discover. Oop, this is really a rough spot. And you'll be killing my heart when you go away. So this is the Kennedy River. We're looking over here now towards Kennedy Lake. Okay, so I made it to the boat launch right here, which is right at the mouth, the beginning of the Kennedy River. It comes out of Kennedy Lake, and I'm going to be kayaking just around this point here, up around through here, these islands, this bay, and kind of around this point, and just get up here as far as I can, check it out and come on back. It'll be a good day outing, but a nice way to get a surface kind of exploration of that area that I've never been. So excited to do it. Let's go check it out. So we are now underway, and the water's calm, there's a breeze, and the sun is poking through partly overcast skies. It's a beautiful day. So looking forward to seeing what we find together. We're just exiting the river where it actually flows out of Kennedy Lake and becomes Kennedy River to head towards the ocean. And we're just coming back up that short stretch of river into the lake, because that's where the boat launch was. That is a common merganser here. The black and white one in the front is the male, and the one with the brown head in the back and the gray body is the female. And I've seen them with up to 17 little babies sitting on a log with them. So they have a pretty good offspring. The water is a perfect temperature. It makes me want to jump in. Really refreshing. Cool, but not too cold. Glassy calm. Check out these reflections. How do you think that cedar sprout got up there, way up there on the top of that old dead tree? And the seeds usually come from pine cones and fall to the ground pretty near the mother tree. So how would that happen? Well, birds will eat the seeds and often scat them out, shit them out. Fully intact and ready to sprout. Probably a bird that planted a cedar tree on top of that dead tree there. So this is the old bridge that crosses this arm of Kennedy Lake called Clayoquot Arm. Oh, check it out. It looks like somebody set it to fire. I don't know if they set it to fire to make it defunct or if somebody vandalized it, but there is definitely evidence that it was on fire. And the waters to ply forward as we go. Look at the contrast, so beautiful. I bet there's some great fishing in this lake. The fish have been jumping. Yeah, the high country looming in the distance. Still plenty of snow in the mountains. That was so primal feeling, like from the beginning of time. That's how I feel this place is. It's kind of left alone. Seems forgotten, and there's so many beautiful places in Canada like that. That's why I love Canada so much. Plus the people are so friendly, and they've been so welcoming to me on this journey. These waters are so dark with the ancient richness of time distilled in these waters. Yeah, the Canadians have been so overwhelmingly generous and kind. Coming from the States with all the political discontent, I wasn't sure, when you attack a good neighbor, how people would receive you from that country. And I've been planning to come to Vancouver Island, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna go forward, and I also felt into it. I was like, Canadians are way smarter than that, and they are. They're way smarter than all the political rhetoric and what the news portrays. They know the average American doesn't want bad feelings between their neighbors. We're good people in America too, and the Canadians are amazingly good people, and they're great neighbors. And so I came up here thinking I didn't know what was going to happen, and I've been overwhelmingly embraced with kindness from so many people. Sugar and Darcy on the Nootka Island, the wild coastline, the west side of Vancouver. They're so amazing and good to meet them. And Kevin at the Coast Guard station there at the point. Pat and Dick at Cougar Creek Campground. Alex and Anj from Montreal, who I met in Tofino, who offered me to use their soft top surfboard, which I'm looking forward to doing. And just so many cool people, and there's many more that aren't coming right to mind right now. John that I met on the Ucluelet Trail, right there in Yuki country, south of Tofino. He's got amazing stories of bears and wolves. He got the photographs to prove it too. A bear and a wolf facing off, very close, nearly nose to nose, but not violently. They're coming into contact and they're seeing each other, eyeing each other, with mutual respect, and kind of moving in their own directions because neither one of them wants to put that exertion into the conflict. Wow. What a great lesson for political leaders to learn, right? Because they're not all leaders, as we all know and understand. Anyways, alas, not to go there, but the Canadians have been phenomenal. And I've always loved Canada. Ever since I was 23, well actually, I'll go back further. Ever since I was a kid, coming up to ski at Squamish and Whistler. And then when in my early 20s, when I was 23, hitchhiking through Canada, and then hitchhiking across Canada all the way to Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, and then catching the boat north, first boat north from Lewisport, Newfoundland to Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Labrador with a fisherman. And the people were so cool. You know, one of the young guys gave me his radio and all his tapes. He's like, you must have music. I'm like, huh? Okay, well thanks. And then meeting Winston and Tony, and Winston, he was there fishing out Bolster's Rock in Labrador, and he invited me to fish with him that summer. I will forever regret not fishing with him that summer, because what an opportunity that would have been to experience Labrador, to be immersed in it to that extent, from fish from the sea, you know, and just being there on the water and the lands and the people of the lands. And Winston said to me, he said one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me. He said, Tom, if I didn't know better, I would swear you were Newfie. Meaning he would swear I was a Newfoundlander. And if you know anything about Newfoundland, the people are beautiful, the land's crazy beautiful. And and I was deeply feeling it, and I was feeling my freedom and lust and passion for nature, and I was out there, and just so when I received that compliment, it was one of the nicest compliments I ever received. So I have a long history of loving Canada and traveling through Canada. Actually, I've been in every province of Canada except Prince Edward Island. So yeah, I've been a lot of cruising around in Canada. Then I met John. He said, if they don't let you back across the border, you can come stay with me. I got plenty of room. I was like, okay, that's good to know. Because, you know, with the wacky stuff going on, it's really hard to know, you know? It's, yeah. One of the coolest things about kayaks is these little passageways in the shallows that you can sneak in and through on your kayak very silently. Sometimes see wildlife very closely, but you can go places that the average boater cannot go. This forgotten land I will never forget, but it feels forgotten, but it's not, obviously. It's set aside as a provincial park, and you know, for the preservation of a very rich biosphere. It's world recognized. We get a little special treat Plus we saved some paddle strokes in the end. Ooh, let's see. Oh, look at the color of the water. So nice. Ooh, and drops off deep fast. The silence is so intense and so pervasive out here. It definitely has a cure for the ills, the dis-ease of the mind. As the saying goes, as without, so within. As your outer environment, so your inner environment. And as your inner environment, so becomes your outer environment. But you can gain benefit from the natural world by letting that outer environment benefit your inner environment, like in a place like this, in the stillness and the powerful beauty of nature. That's why I keep returning again and again and again and again until infinity, until the story ends. Well, I just took a little break in this little cove and the winds are beginning to pick up. They're not bad yet. The water's not turning to white caps, but you can see the water surface moving in the wind, and I know these big lakes can get really windy later in the day, so I think I'm going to be turning around here and heading back since I'm just on a day outing. And yeah, so let's go. Yeah, since I will be paddling back, facing into the wind, I will go before it does potentially get worse. Even though I don't expect it to get too windy, but you just never know on these pretty giant, wide open lakes. I think they even said this is one of the largest lakes on the island. So it has a big open fetch, big sweep of open water where the winds can really get pushing through. I'm still in bases in the calm windbreaks of these islands as much as possible. I'll see if you can see this. So yeah, it's very calm here on the edge of this island, and then just out here, winds are just beginning to pick up, but it's quite a bit breezier. So I'm using the islands as a windbreak as much as possible to help, save my strength on the paddle back. So where I came out in the middle of the lake, because it was so calm, now I'm hugging the shoreline on the way back to gain some shelter and protection along the way as I go. Kind of a kayaker's way of traveling, working with the winds and the waters and the land all at once. And the stories they tell us in the process of the weather unfolding. It's a bummer, I realized I lost my microphone into the drink. I can see these outings are gonna be expensive, but that's a bummer, so the audio may not be so good on this one. It wasn't necessarily the best microphone anyways, but I didn't want to lose it into the drink. But anyways, it is what it is, right? We deal with it. We do, we adapt. I'll breathe and I'll ramble, while they'll never think but make you stay. To be killing my heart when you go away. Yes, bears are out. This is a pretty fresh pile of bear scat. Today was really fun. I felt like I was on safari on these back roads in British Columbia. Very cool. And I'm glad you guys could come along with me. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, there's a couple things you can do for free to support my channel. One is just throw out a like. And 2 is subscribe, and then the third one is comment. And honestly, if you can't think of anything to say, just throw down a heart emoji or a bear emoji, or your favorite emoji, and then I'll know you were that far along on the journey with me. And it's just really nice to know you're there, and I love hearing from you. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, we'll see you down the road.